Hello, summer is just around the corner, so on today's Market Kitchen we celebrate the warmer weather with a whole range of al fresco dining for the weekend. Welcome to you all. Also coming up on Market Kitchen, if you fancy a gastronomic trip to France, author and honorary Parisian Kathleen Flinn is here with her culinary guide to Paris, complete with her ultimate shopping list.
Bored with plain old cheese and onion and ready salted crisps? Our diners put some more of the unusual flavoured varieties to the crunch test.
And if you think surf and turf conjures up images of bad 1960s pub grub, then think again. Arthur Potts Dawson gives this retro classic a market makeover with his fillet steak and oyster version.
Well, Arthur, that looks like a wonderful light summery dish for a warm day. 5 years ago, Kathleen Flinn returned from holiday to discover that her corporate job had been, well, terminated. She took this as an opportunity to clear out her savings account and pursue her lifelong dream of training at the most famous cookery school in the world, Le Cordon Bleu, and she's written a delightful book about it. The sharper your knife, the less you cry. And welcome, Kathleen, to Market Kitchen.
Great, thank you for having me.
Now, this was a bold adventure. This is a huge decision. How did you come to make it?
Well, I lost my job, and I really didn't know what to do, and I just came back from vacation, so I called my mother, who said, oh, you have to get another job immediately, or no one will ever hire you ever again. And I didn't listen to her. Instead, I called my boyfriend, my new boyfriend in Seattle, and I told him I wanted to move there and get a job. And he said, absolutely not. He told me to clear out my savings and to move to Paris.
What a prescient figure.
Yeah, so I said, no, I don't know anyone in Paris. And he said, well, you'll know me, because if you want me to, I'll go with you. So he quit his job and he moved to Paris with me.
And the happy thing is this former boyfriend is now her husband.
Yes.
Anyway, back to Cordon Bleu. Was this a bit of a shock to the system when you actually went to the school?
It was. I thought I threw such fabulous dinner parties that the chefs would be so impressed with me, but in fact I got there and found out I didn't know how to hold a knife properly. But it was good.
And was it sort of became an introduction to the sort of food of France, and particularly the food of Paris?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the key things that I learned is something you talk about a lot here in Market Kitchen, which is really cooking is about choosing. It's really how it starts. And you have to choose the best ingredients, because if you have bad ingredients, you can't make anything good out of it.
So how do you go about finding the best ingredients in Paris in particular?
Well, one of the very first things they teach you at Le Cordon Bleu is a French chef takes you on a tour of a local market, and he explains all of the different veg and how to select meat and the questions to ask and so on, all about cheese. And then he takes you back to the school and he makes it and talks about it. And actually it turns out that's something anyone can do. You can actually go to the Le Cordon Bleu website and sign up and do that for a day.
For a day?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely. So you can
so it becomes a sort of gastronomic tour, really, essentially.
Yeah. And actually, whenever I go to Paris now, because I live in Seattle in the States.
You return to Seattle after this.
There are so many things you can't get, or they're just so prohibitively expensive. So when
you come back for a fix.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Perhaps you'd like to talk about one or two of these things on here that clearly you need essentials for your store cupboard.
Yes, absolutely. Well, one of the first things that I always buy is Fondue Roti, and you can't find it anywhere outside of France. And I met this guy, and he was a private chef to a Russian paper baron. And he told me he uses it in sauces. I mean, traditionally you take it and you actually mix it up with hot water and you put it over meat to base.
It's your basic stock, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's nice. It's got a lot of flavor to it. It's brilliant. And then, and then we have truffles. I mean, I would love to buy fresh truffles, but I don't have that extra couple thousand pounds for a kilo of truffles. So I go and buy either jars or tins and try to find it. It's brilliant if you can find it mixed with salt, because it flavors the salt, and you just put the salt on at the end of whenever you're cooking. If you do it during cooking, it loses a lot of the flavor. And then, of course, there's duck confit, which is basically duck that's just been cooked and preserved in its own fat. And really, you know, duck and fat, it doesn't get any better than that.
Absolutely, it's the healthiest item on the table, I can tell. And this, there's this legend, isn't it, that it's certain cheeses are so smelly you're not supposed to take them on the metro. I think that's ridiculous myself.
I agree. And actually, they're very fussy about taking this sort of thing back to the United States.
So you're supposed to have to vacuum pack them in order to transport them. Actually, give me the note a second, I think. To transport them on public service. And I think, you know, the point about it is that whiff of smelly cheese, like garlic and Gauloise and Gitane and all the rest of them, is one of the things that we absolutely love France for. Excuse me, I just excuse me, while I use my fingers and get ease this little beauty out.
Yeah, isn't that lovely? I mean,
God, boys, doesn't that?
Can you smell that over there?
Does it bring back Paris there? I could just see you, Paul, with a little striped jersey and a beret and a fag in the corner of your mouth.
A little drink.
Calvados.
And of course, the last thing is Calvados.
Calvados, indeed. Well, a little bit of Calvados after my own particular fix. Now, I know this isn't everybody else's favourite, but andouillette, the big chiseling sausage popped underneath the grill, little green salad on the side, glass or two of red wine, and then a glass of Calvados afterwards. I don't know what it does for you, but it's made me intensely nostalgic. Reading your book, talking to you about this food, thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you.